Everyone. First off, before we get into the video, big congratulations to the Golden State Warriors for winning yet another NBA championship. I mean, what a series. This was a great series. I really thought the series would go 7. I really thought the Boston Celtics matched up very well. Their size, I thought, would be an issue. I thought there'd be many things kind of in the Boston Celtics' favor in this series. But you got to give the Warriors a ton of credit. Their experience showed. That's why I picked the Warriors to win this finals. I thought that their experience, the fact that they've been there, just their offensive weaponry, I just thought was far too much for the Boston Celtics, and that proved to be the case. I mean, just watching this Game 6. The Boston Celtics, the issue is, as great as they are, and they're going to be great for quite some time, but the reality is they're too predictable offensively, and I think that really plays into why the last handful of games, we've seen them have so many turnovers. Like the Celtics, we know what they're going to do. The Warriors know what they're going to do, and they just have to hone in on Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But you got to give credit to Steph Curry. Finals MVP. The guy was unbelievable this playoffs and especially this final series. I mean, he single-handedly kept them in games, won games for them, all of that. If it wasn't for him, this could have been a very different and likely would have been a very quick series for the Boston Celtics. But Steph, I mean, he had the heroic games. He had his struggles in the fourth quarter, but nonetheless, they were still able to pull it off. And then everyone else kind of woke up from then on out. You know, we saw everybody start, as the series went on, everyone started to kind of wake up a little bit and ultimately were able to help lift Steph during the rest of the series. But Clay, we got Game 6 Clay. I mean, he is who he is, man. The dude is a monster when it comes to closeout games. His history proves it. His stats prove it. I mean, he's one of the best players in history when it comes to closeout games, and he was great. He was tremendous in this game, and you got to give him a bunch of credit. He really deserves all of just the highlight as usual. And there was a lot of concerns. You can kind of tell still he doesn't really have that step still, but next year, I think that's going to be very interesting to kind of see how that takes place, how that unfolds for him. I imagine that Clay is going to be even better next year after this full year of health. Clay really stepped up big when they needed him. He hit some big shots, had some big moments, some big quarters. I mean, not even just Game 6. I mean, as the series progressed, Game 5, he hit that huge 3, and it just really showed. It was really great. And then the big 4, Draymond finally woke up. I don't know if it was the tweet from his mother basically calling him out or what it was, but it was just great to see Draymond get back to that dominant force, that guy that just does everything, the staple and the glue for the Golden State Warriors, and he really was that, and especially in this game. I mean, he just shy of a triple-double. The guy was hitting threes, getting rebounds, blocking shots, dishing out assists. I mean, he was everything. Jordan Poole had a big step-up game, and he really elevated his game, especially the last handful of games. It was just you saw the progress throughout the series. You saw them. It was the Curry show in the beginning, and then you saw everyone else slowly start coming into the fold. And once that happened, you knew, okay, like this is scary. Andrew Wiggins deserves a ton of credit. Huge shout out to him. I mean, he really was their second best player this entire series. And you can make the argument in the entire playoffs. He was just so consistent for him. He didn't have the greatest game in the world this game, but still, he did enough, and he's proven himself time and time again. The last 2 games, he was the star. I mean, the defense he played on Jason Tatum was incredible. I mean, literally, he was shutting them down. And so he deserves all the praise, all of the credit as well. And the Warriors just came together, which, you would expect. It's a team that is veteran-led, that has been there more times than most people will ever be there in their lives. It was one-sided to begin with. I mean, the Celtics had zero NBA Finals experience for a team, and the Warriors had something like 300 games or something crazy like that. But moving on to the Celtics side, I mean, Jason Tatum, come on, man, where were you? Look, he's young. He's only going to improve. He's only going to get better. The guy is a star, hands down. But with being a star, with being a superstar, with being the face of a franchise, you need to be held to a standard. And he did not show up. He just didn't. I mean, he didn't show up this entire final series. He had like one good game the whole series, and he was just so inconsistent throughout. We saw it the entire playoffs. He was so inconsistent. It was a big issue for the Boston Celtics. And Jaylen Brown, dude, that guy, he is the guy. If Jason Tatum had Jaylen Brown's mentality and had Jaylen Brown's, sort of just killer instinct, it would be unbelievable how good Jason Tatum will be. The problem is, and we've seen it in interviews, we've seen things like that, where he's even said himself, I don't believe at times that I'm that guy. I don't think I'm that good. Like, Jason Tatum is better than he believes he is, than he gives himself credit for, all of those things. And that is huge. And so, like, when it comes to mentality, that is something Jason Tatum's really going to need to get better at. He's young. He's made mistakes. He's not the perfect player. He has tons of room to grow. I don't want to be too critical on him, but it needs to be said. You can't. We crucify so many stars in this league for less. And him being a star in this league, he needs to take accountability. He needs to be, pointed out. He needs to be called out. This fell on him in many ways. Jaylen Brown did his job this series, especially in this game. He did everything he could. The guy was defending everybody. He was putting up shots. Jason Tatum just didn't show up, and it's unfortunate. But like I said, the Boston Celtics, they are very young. They are a very young team, and they're going to be around for quite a while. Their starting five is arguably one of, if not the best starting five in the league. Just because they lost the finals doesn't necessarily mean they're not the better team. A lot of this went into just the level of which the Warriors are at, that championship DNA, the play schemes, the adjustments, all of those things, the age, all of it. Where the Boston Celtics, they're so young, they're so inexperienced, they haven't been there, and they're only going to get better. We've watched the progress. They were in the the Eastern Conference Finals, Jason Tatum's rookie year. So we've watched him get to the conference finals. We've watched him now get to the NBA finals, and he lost. But he'll get there. We've seen tons of teams. Oklahoma City is a great example, right? Although they didn't win a championship, but we watch them. They get eliminated in the second round. They get to the conference finals. They get eliminated in the second round. They get to the conference finals. Then they make it to the NBA finals. They lose. And unfortunately, Oklahoma City broke up James Harden and all of that stuff. Hopefully the Celtics, I imagine, wouldn't do that. They'll keep this team intact. But this team, if intact, they're going to be in this conversation for a while. And I wouldn't be shocked at all if they're in the NBA finals next year or the year after, or even for several years. They're very young. They're very talented. They have everything they need. Robert Williams, that dude is an absolute monster. Seriously, that dude is just a fiend on the boards, on the defensive end. His recovery, his athleticism, his skill set. These Celtics are definitely dangerous. But as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What did you think of this series? What did you think of the Boston Celtics? What did you think of Jason Tatum? How did you feel about the Warriors winning? Do you think it was well-deserved? Did you call it? Did you not call it? The Warriors, I'm really curious to see how this offseason is going to go, because the Warriors, winning the championship, they have a lot of decisions that they're going to have to make. Andrew Wiggins is an expiring contract after the next season. They're going to have to extend Jordan Poole. What's going to happen with Otto Porter, because he was fantastic for them. All these things. They're going to have a lot of decisions, a lot of changes. How will Wiseman come back? Will they trade Wiseman to try to, keep this championship team intact? And one last little side note, this is a big L for Kevin Durant. Big L for Kevin Durant, because this just solidifies even more that that he needed the Warriors more than the Warriors needed him. This is now the second time that they've won without him, so it's pretty crazy. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.